Welcome to the Power of Design podcast. My name is Jack Ossa. I'm an architect, born and raised in Colombia, South America. Years ago, I migrated to the United States to follow my dreams. And today, I'm the founder and principal of Ossa Studio, a multidisciplinary architectural design firm in Charlotte, North Carolina. In this podcast, we talk about design, business, creativity, and the inspiration we need to create an exciting and powerful built environment.
In this episode of the Power of Design podcast, Monika Nessbach shares her journey from Germany to Charlotte, building Designbar and creating interior design experiences where brand, space, and emotion connect. Listen to discover how thoughtful design can transform business, creativity, and client relationships.
Well, Monika, thank you for coming to my office and my podcast today. I know we haven't spent a lot of time together, but I met you not too long ago, but I was seeing your work around, and I really wanted to meet you and learn more about you and what you do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah. So why don't you start giving me a quick overview of your life story? You know, how did you start?
How much time you have?
2 hours.
Okay, I think I can get through
where
it in
you
2
from?
hours.
How did you come here? To take us to where you are today.
Okay, so I was born in Germany, as you know, born and raised in Germany. So I went to school there. Halfway through my school life, I had the brilliant idea to want to be an exchange student because I wanted to be better in English. I really just wanted to get out of the house, but I sold it to my mother. But I want to get better in English, So I applied and I went to high school in, believe it or not, Salisbury, North Carolina.
Wow.
I went to East Royan High School for 1 year, and it was basically, I skipped the 11 and 12, 11 and went straight into 12. So I went into the senior year, and I was in 10th grade in Germany when I, came over.
Right.
So I graduated here, spent a year here, and then went back to Germany. But I always remembered my time in Salisbury because it was very memorable at the time. The big metropolitan area. Yes, it was quite the culture shock, believe me, going from Germany and especially when you're a teenager, right? Because in Europe, when you're a teenager, you are fully functioning as of 14 or 16 years old, and here you come and you're not really allowed to do anything as a teenager. So I did that, went back to Germany, finished my high school degree over there. And then I wanted to do a internship. I did an internship at Dell Computer, also American company in Frankfurt. So I lived in Frankfurt for a year. Then after that, I went to college. I studied business administration, had 4.5 years of college. And after that, while I was doing that, I started working for Lufthansa.
Oh, cool.
So I became a flight attendant.
That makes a lot of sense.
Does it? Do I look like one?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'll just take it as one. So I worked for Lufthansa for about 1.5 years. And at the same time, I'd already planned to come back to do an MBA program. And the MBA program happened to be in Charlotte. At Fife University. And so I ended up coming back to Charlotte and made Charlotte my home. Not that I intended to. I intended to go back home, but, after a while, you just like it better, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow, that's very interesting. And how did you get in the world of design?
Yeah, that's a long story. So to continue on with the story, I came over here. I interned with a German company because Charlotte has a lot of German companies, as you know, as you just mentioned, the German mafia.
Yeah.
And I interned with one of the German companies. And they offered me a job before I was done with my MBA. So I thought, this is great. I'm going to do an extra year because with your student visa, you have the option to do 1 year of optional practical training. It's going to look good on my resume. And then I'll go back to Germany and then I'll differentiate myself from all the other people.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a better job, right? So that's the intention at the end of the day. And somehow this career at Continental Tire, which was the company I interned with, started taking off. And they offered me a better position, more money after a year, and a full-time position. So I really couldn't say no.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I was immediately working with management, with the C-suite, like which normally would take a while to get there. And it was just going great for me. But after 6 years or so, working probably 4 positions at that time for different areas, I just felt my creative side was lacking, and I was missing something, and I was craving just to do something creative. And so at the time, I had decided that I was going to stay in the United States. I was going to stay in Charlotte and was going to make Charlotte my home. So I bought a house. And I was remodeling the house. Wow. And I really loved the process. I loved the process of selecting everything and, just imagining what it could look like and just everything about it.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, I made the decision to go back to school. So after I was done with work, I was working, normal 8 to 6 job. Every evening at 6 o'clock, I went to CPCC and took interior design classes.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, until I couldn't take any more, until I'd taken all of them. Mm-hmm. And I had to take daytime classes. And I also wanted to do my NCIDQ certification so I could get licensed and registered. And then that's kind of when I made the decision that it's time for me to quit.
That's awesome. So was school what you thought it was going to be?
School is better when you're really interested in the topic.
Yes. That makes sense.
I hated business school. I really didn't enjoy it that much.
Yeah.
I mean, the topics I enjoyed were the creative ones, right? So communication or marketing or, things that really challenged me creatively. But the numbers and finance and accounting, oof.
Yeah, that makes me think about when we need to make those decisions in life, like, okay, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? And you're 16, 17, how do you know? And the role of society to help the people doing that. Because I have a 17-year-old and we have done like personality tests that, like the DISC or things like that, where you can see at least what are your natural abilities or tendencies, and then see if something out there, relates to that.
Yes.
And you can test even with,
Well, we didn't have that in Germany.
Oh,
it was like, what are you going to do?
I know. Most of the time it's like, this person does this and this, they do that, but just knowing the options will be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So the funny thing is I always wanted to do something creative, even when I was younger. So when I was done with high school and went to university, I wanted to study graphic design because I always liked to draw. And then I saw some, of my other teammates' drawings and basically immediately decided for myself I wasn't good enough. And so I should be doing something else that I'm good at, which is languages.
Yes.
At the time, my languages were great. I was fluent in French. I was fluent in English and German, of course. So I went into, I do business with language. There you go. That makes sense. There was my path.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. So once you graduate, with your interior design degree, then what do you do?
Well, once I had graduated, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I had already started my company. I started my company kind of on a whim. I was given the opportunity to do a room at a designer show house at the Metropolitan when the Metropolitan was just built.
Yeah.
A few years ago, or not a few years ago, in 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And that opportunity required me to have a company. So overnight, I just went online.
Yeah.
I incorporated Designbar, filed my article of organization, and got business insurance. And there I was, a business owner.
Yeah.
So Designbar was actually born in 2009 already. Wow. But I really didn't start working as a designer until 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So you never work for somebody else?
Nope.
Wow. That's so
No.
incredible. Yeah. So you made everything up yourself.
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much. I learned. I mean, it was an
Yeah.
exponential learning curve
Yeah,
to learn the
of course.
construction process, and obviously doing commercial interiors, you have to know codes, and you have to know how to read construction documents, and all these things, and talk to the trades, and it was an exponential learning curve. Let's just
Yeah. Wow.
but I figured it out.
Yeah. You have to.
I wanted to work for a company, but most companies required you to have like a full degree, and I just had an associate's degree, and was on my way to do the NCIDQ.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't qualified to work for any of the firms that I would have been interested in, like Gensler or something.
Yeah.
Like those were the ones that you see in Interior Design magazine. Those are the ones you aspire to be. Not anymore, but then I was, right.
Yeah.
So I could have never gotten in. So what other choice did I have than doing it myself?
Yeah, no, that's great. So you didn't have like somebody you consult with, or just everything you do yourself? Yeah, that's great. Well, I think one good thing is that you probably, because when you work for somebody else, you start doing things the way they do it, because that's the way it's always been done.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of things that you don't know if you're learning. Things that are not that useful. Is just, no, that's the way it is. And
yeah. The only problem is that mistakes are really expensive when you make mistakes, right?
Yes.
So I really was very conscious of making sure that my decisions were right. Were they always right? No. I've made mistakes and I've paid for them, but they were never happening again.
Yeah. And so what kind of projects are the first kind of 2-3 years of your business?
So the lucky part of my entry into commercial interior design was that I was asked to do some of it at a Continental Tire while I was still working there. And that was really by chance, because the CEO at the time saw my room that I did at the show house and asked me to do his executive board room, which was a challenge. And I really didn't know what the hell I was doing at the time, because I wasn't done with my studies yet. But I was like, yes, I do this on the side. No problem. I will do this. So I came, prepared with my big presentation board, and like had a meeting with him, and presented everything that, I thought he would like. And it was accepted with no change. No change. I put a budget together, got all my pricing from all my vendors, and then, construction budget. I worked with a facility manager to get that done.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of an understanding of what it's going to take to make it happen.
Yeah.
Through that. Then after that, I was given the chance to work on the new headquarter building. Mm-hmm. At the beginning, Continental Tire was still in North Carolina. They were off of Westinghouse Boulevard.
Okay.
And then they moved to Fort Mill. And the new headquarter building had common areas, obviously. So they had like an entrance and a big cafeteria that needed to be designed, and conference rooms. And so I was asked to help with those. And I was given a big, nice budget, and I loved it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I know sometimes are very different between interior design, sometimes and traditional architecture, is that interior designers help with purchasing and with the vendors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that common in commercial work, or is that more common in residential? How does that work?
I think it's different vendors. I think it definitely is similar. I have so many accounts with both commercial and residential vendors. The great part about being in North Carolina is you're so close to High Point Market. So I remember the first years when I wasn't even studying interior design yet, but I was interested in it. I went to High Point Market with friends and saw the vendors there, and all, the vast majority of, hey, this is my Christmas, this is my candy land. I see everything that's available, and it's like blowing my mind.
Right.
So, I started establishing relationships then. And then, of course, when I became a designer, that was a regular thing for me to do, to go to High Point. And I always saw the crossover between residential and commercial, because people want to come to a place where they feel at home. Mm-hmm. Like they want to stay at a place when they feel like I'm at home. I'm comfortable, I can relax. And that premise I took with me into my designs, because I always wanted to create a space where people feel like they're at home, you know, and they want to stay, even if it's a workplace. So, yeah.
Wow. So, how did you go to that next level, after, not feeling that you don't know what you're doing? How do you start kind of gaining confidence and say, yeah, I know, I got it, trying to go after bigger and better projects?
Honestly, the confidence is a daily practice. I know, and that is, I think, also difference between male and female. I think male is more courageous, and female has more issues with imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely had that, and still sometimes have that to this day.
Yeah.
Where I feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I can
Yeah.
figure this out. But at the end of the day, it is getting out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
So getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is what I needed to get over. How did I go about it? I think I pretty quickly decided that hospitality was where I wanted to be. I got the opportunity to do several restaurants that were super cool, and I had so much fun doing them. So I decided, oh, this is what I want to do, because walking into restaurants that are really cool versus walking into a beautiful house, there was still a difference. Right now, I feel like there's a crossover again, but back then, there was a distinct difference between cool restaurants, a workplace, and a home. And cool restaurants or boutique hotels, those were like, edgy and fun, and there was unexpected things. Everything was custom, and the others were fine too, but they weren't just as exciting, right? Because people are not willing to take those risks in their own home, or weren't at the time take those risks in their own home, or employers are maybe a little bit more conservative. They don't want to put something cool and funky in their place. Now they do. I mean, when Google came out with their little nap pods, remember that?
Yeah.
Or the whole campus idea of having a campus of all the different things where people can play, and there's games, and, people can take breaks and then come back to their work.
Yes.
Where you don't want to leave.
That's right.
There's the premise again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the workplace, even up until today, since the basic scenario of workplace, which is a building, like you have floor ceilings, walls, and you have desks, and then you have maybe typewriters at the beginning, and now we have computers and chairs. We're still using the same setup, stable chairs and roof ceiling things. And I think that's when in the 90s they started thinking about more. I think it's that work-life balance. So bringing things from your home to the office, we're not machines. We're not there just to produce and produce. We're still normal human beings. We wanna rest and feel good, and I think that's where kind of those new design tendencies for workplace started. That now you see. Yeah. Workplaces that look like hotel lobbies, doctor's office.
How cool is that, though?
Oh, yeah. It makes sense.
I love it.
Yeah, me too, because it's more human.
Yeah. And, why not sit on a sofa and have your laptop? And I mean, that's why we don't have big desktops anymore. We have laptop computers. You can be anywhere. You can sit in an Airstream on your grass and type with your hotspot on your phone, right?
Yes.
So there's the possibilities are really endless of imagining how you can work or enjoy life at the same time.
Yeah, there is no separation.
Almost like a seamless transition, if you want to say it that way.
Yeah, and when you see a typical modern human adult joins the workforce like at 20 until they're like 60, so it's 40 years of their life.
Yes.
8 hours a day, most likely inside a workplace.
Yes.
So you're spending most of your life in an office, because when you're at home, you're sleeping 8 hours. You're not in the space.
Yes.
So that impact we can have in people's life is huge.
And quality of life. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sitting in a cubicle, I mean, Gen X is used to that now. When millennials came around, I mean, because they grew up with more freedom of where to work and wanting more modularity in their options, right? I think that's when the idea kind of got started. Then COVID came. Then it really was obvious because you are working from home.
Yeah.
You don't spend 2 hours in the car. You are, don't have to spend money on lunch because you can make lunch at home. So I really do see the challenge now for employers getting their people back into work. You really have to offer something. Like,
Yes.
why would you want to go back to work
Yeah.
if you don't have to? Like, it's obviously working when I'm at home.
Yeah.
Unless you're coming fresh out of school. I feel like new students fresh out of school have to be able to learn from their environments. And you can't learn when you're alone at work, at home.
Yeah, that's
Right.
for sure. I think part of the problem when that happened is that there was a generation that joined the workforce remote.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my first job is already remote. So yeah, work from home. So 3 years later, hey, come to the office. What? Why? You crazy?
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing they know and it makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that are, well, maybe I just go work
Yeah.
for somebody else that has this policy.
Yeah.
So there is a big piece of the workforce that is people are missing because of
Yeah.
that. Okay, what is a restaurant that is in just generic? What is a restaurant well designed? What's that environment?
What is a well-designed restaurant?
Yeah.
A well-designed restaurant is a restaurant where the experience starts before you even enter the restaurant. So from the moment you make a reservation, how you get reminded, to how you get there, to when you arrive, how you're being greeted, to the moment you sit down. I mean, the entire process of what it takes to, to have the thought, to want to be there, and then to be there, and then to leave again, has to be thought out.
Yes.
And it's many a times it's not being thought out, right? People just think, okay, where do you have to put a whole stand? And then where are the tables? And how are the waiters going to go around the tables the best way and get from the kitchen back to the tables? I mean,
the basics.
Basics, right? Yeah. Obviously, there's more to it. But if you don't think about this entire experience and make sure that it's cohesive, that you have the same positive connection to that particular place, it'll get separated. It'll get severed, essentially.
Yeah.
So a well-designed restaurant is where many parties work together. First of all, not just the designer works with the restaurant owner. It has to be, with the graphic design company that does all the marketing, with the social media company, with or whoever the brand standards, with the POS system. Like, you need to know how the whole process works, and then make sure that everything flows, right? And people leave the place with a little, wow, I didn't expect that. That was so cool, and I really want to come back.
Yeah.
That wow feeling is the connection. That's what you want.
Yes.
You want people to connect to the brand.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I think that makes a well-designed restaurant.
And I would think that the starting point of all that is the food.
You would think
Right.
so.
It should be.
Yeah, but if you have a bad experience outside of that, then the food doesn't matter, I don't think.
Oh no, yes, but I think the concept and the experience needs to start with the food that is being served.
Oh, yeah.
Because you go there to consume food.
Yes, of course.
That's your origin. So ideally, how should the chef designer relationship should be so they both telling the same story, the food and the restaurant and the space.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, I always ask my restaurant owners for a menu. I always want to know what they serve. If I can meet the chef, even better.
Yeah.
Because the chef, has an idea of what he wants people to feel when they taste. So it's all about the senses at the end of the day that are being engaged while you have the experience. So yeah, absolutely. The food is an integral part.
Yeah.
But if it's bad, then
what
the
is
other
one
things don't
restaurant
matter.
you've been to that you said this is the whole experience? This is a well-designed restaurant.
Oh God. I couldn't tell you one from the top of my head now. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of restaurants that have made great experiences. Remember Bardo?
On Park Road?
No, on Mint Street.
Oh no.
It was on Mint Street.
No.
It was a tapas size place. You know where Yume is, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you passed Yume and then it was on the right side. They're no longer there, but I felt like the experience that I had there was amazing. It was unbelievable. The food was great. The place was very bare, but had like graffiti on the walls, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Just the whole vibe, the feeling being there was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
So you have designed offices, restaurants, what else?
Restaurants, bars, multifamily. I've designed schools, retail spaces. That's pretty much it.
Wow. And how many people are in your team?
Currently, we have in the team. Full-time employed only 2.
Yeah.
I had 4 before, and I am now employing only 2.
Yeah.
However, we have 2 people that are 1099s that we're using for project by project basis.
Cool.
And I have more if I need to, but so essentially it's still a team of 4.
Yeah.
The Power of Design podcast is brought to you by Ossa Studio, a multidisciplinary design firm focused on creating impactful experiences through the power of design. We partner with our clients to create buildings, interior spaces, brands, and strategies that help you deliver a successful project. As a minority-owned firm, we are committed to building a diverse platform of curious and driven design professionals so we can together pursue our full potential. For more information, please visit us at www.ossastudio.com.
Who's your ideal client?
My ideal
your
client.
Profile of your target client.
Yes, my ideal client would be a developer with a vision.
Yeah.
Somebody who's not afraid of maybe taking a little bit of a risk.
Nice.
A hotel owner, investor, an architect who doesn't have interiors. Wink,
Yes.
wink.
That sounds that works.
That's my ideal client.
Yeah. That's cool. And what about the projects you're working on today? What's exciting? What are you doing? Challenges?
So I'm really, really focusing on getting into more the hotel realm of things. So hospitality, because I feel that the part of hospitality, the experience part, the experiential design part, carries over into all of the other aspects. Like I said, So that's a big push that I'm doing right now. However, I'm open to all other projects too. What was your question? Yeah, I'm open to all other projects too, really.
Yeah. What about the business side of your story? What would you say are the biggest business lessons you have learned in the last years?
Oh, that's near and dear to my heart. The biggest lesson I learned in the last couple of years was diversification. I had a project that was a big learning experience. That's how I put it now, where I wanted to prove to myself that my small team can function just as well as a team of 20 in a big in a big architecture firm. And I did prove that. We actually split a project 50-50, and I was partnering with an architecture firm at the time. And we had the same amount of places. It was food and beverage, retail, and guest services that we were designing. We designed 52 spaces over the course of 1 year. And we were involved with all the other, of course, engineering and, audio, video, all of those disciplines. Now, the architecture team, we had the same deadlines. Architecture team had 52 spaces. We had 52 spaces. There were 20 people. We were 6.
Yeah.
And we met the exact same deadlines. No problem. The only problem that then occurred was that the client who was overseas didn't pay.
Wow.
They didn't pay for a year. And that's detrimental to a small company.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So that was probably my biggest learning experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
So I did it.
that
I know
happens.
I can do it. I know we can do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I can't. I have
Yeah,
to. I have to
that's
have other
incredible
projects.
because I have had similar situations, and for a small company, it can kill the company.
Yeah.
It's incredible what you have to do, and those are the kind of things that you never think about when you start your own business.
No.
You think the marketplace is fair and people are
Yes.
normal.
Yeah.
No, there's crazy people everywhere, and people want your money.
Yeah.
And they don't mind if you're a small business.
Yeah.
If
They use you as a bank.
and they'll do whatever it takes. Not everyone, but they exist.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
the architecture firm didn't have a problem because they had many other projects, right?
Yes.
Which were equaling out them not getting paid on this project. For me, that was, I had 100% of my resources on this project for 1 year. And so I was floating everybody's salary for a whole year.
Wow.
Trying to make it work. Yeah, that was
Big lesson.
yes, a big lesson.
Yes.
One that I could do without.
yes. That's the best way to learn. You know, fortunately or unfortunately.
My ego was too big.
When things like that happen, I just say, I paid this amount of money or whatever for this MBA in this topic because
I did. I knew I was taking a risk. I just didn't think that doing it in partnership with this architecture firm that it would come to like a situation like that where they would leave me hanging.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't expect.
Yeah.
And they did.
Wow.
They didn't get paid, so I don't get paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, good lesson.
Noted.
Yeah, wow. No more lists.
No.
And what do you think, or what would you like to be your business in the next 5-10 years?
I've thought about this. I definitely would like to think about growing again. So like the reason why I took on that project was because I wanted to grow. And the total amount that we were supposed to get in a shorter time period would have enabled me to grow my team and to take on more people. I want to have an architect on staff, preferably. I have good partnership with engineers, like a design build type situation, because people like a one-stop shop and one person to connect with, right?
Yeah.
Versus having, an engineer here, an architect here, a designer here, and and then we have our GC that also has to be served. So like that's a lot of hats to carry. So a design build solution would be what I would strive for.
That's interesting because where I'm from in Colombia, most of the work done is typically design build, and it's not a design build where contractor subcontract an architect, which is what they do here, and they call it design build. It's an entity that is everybody's on payroll, but you have the designers and the builders, contractors,
everything on staff.
Is same company.
Yeah.
So you're cooperating, you're designing, you have feedback on cost when you're building.
You have one budget versus getting two budgets.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense. But
absolutely.
Typically a client who wants to do a commercial project, then they have to go architect, maybe interior designer separate, contractor, furniture, security, AV, IT.
No wonder they have a representative then, right?
Yes.
No wonder they hire a company to manage that.
Yeah. It gets to be pretty crazy. But the delivery in a one-stop solution, to me, is just very efficient. It's just not very common here in the United States.
Yeah. It makes so much common sense though.
Have you, and I guess you go back to Germany and still know people there, but what about design in Germany? How do you see, like, if you were in Germany, would you be doing this, the same type of designs you're doing here, or how do they see it?
I don't know if I would be doing the same type of designs there, because coming from a country that's very modern in design style, I would probably be stuck in one design style. I feel here I have room to play because many design styles are existing, and I love the juxtaposition of different design styles and seeing how it all works together.
Yeah.
In Europe, the juxtaposition is automatically there because you have old buildings and then you have modern furniture.
Yes.
So like it's already cool because of
That's
that,
right.
right? And
Yeah,
here
you
you
have
have
that
new
contrast.
buildings, then
Yeah.
people put old traditional furniture in there and there's that. But if it's bad furniture, then it just doesn't look right. So
Yeah.
so I like to play with, okay, so how am I going to make it look cool with having different design styles or like merging design styles and making it personal to the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool because when I look at architecture from all over the world, and ideally, architecture should represent the place where where it is made, the
Yeah.
context,
Yeah.
everything that is around it, and United States is so advanced, and we have all this technology, we have all these things, but at the same time, sometimes to me it's too much because the quality sometimes decreases. For example,
Yes.
the obsession with like making every building look like an old classical building, like pretending that it's 200 years old when it's not. It's we made it today with modern materials and modern technology.
Yes.
But everybody wants to make it look old. Which I understand it's one idea and it works, but it's the norm.
Yeah.
And you see all these brand new home developments with 500 homes designed by contractors, and they're just all trying to
They look like they're from the 90s or 80s.
Yeah, they're trying to look like, Doric columns and all these
Yes.
things. Like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, what?
That's even better when they put those in there.
Yeah, it's very strange. Very strange that, but that's how
I
it
know.
works. I'm always surprised that people want their houses to look old, but they don't want their cars to look old.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody wants a car that look
New.
modern. Yeah.
Yes.
But their houses, they want it like that. So it's
See, I feel, when there's older buildings, and there are some older buildings here, of course, I love to then have like a complete glass building right beside it. That looks very cool to me, right? Because you have a 200-year-old building that's been remodeled, maybe, but it still has a 200-year-old building, and then you have like the full glass, compact, streamlined, minimalistic example right beside it. I think that's the way to go.
Because you have a contrast, so you're adding value to both by showing
by showing them both off.
Appreciate them.
By showing them both off.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you have an amazing story, and I know what you have done is not easy. So I would like to know, why do you think you were able to do what you have done? Is from what you learn, your family, your education, who you are?
That's a good question. I think why I was able to do what I did, failure is not an option is one of my, I think, principles to live by. And I also came here alone. My family's in Europe. I didn't have a partner. So I needed to make it work because when I jumped ship from the safety of the corporate teat. When I jumped from that safety, I had to make it work because at the end of the day, it was my livelihood.
Yeah.
So knowing that if it's not going to work, I don't know where I'm going to, pay my mortgage the next month.
Yeah.
I think that pressure enabled me to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think made you get to the conclusion that failure is not an option?
Yeah, because I didn't want to fail.
Why?
Because I didn't want to be homeless. I didn't want to be a homeless person.
Yeah.
It was that pressure because,
honestly,
sometimes it
it's
was
like
really
that.
from month to month. I was barely able to maybe, make ends meet and pay everything, and then, next month began and there was the grind again. So it's a constant hustle until you get to a point where you don't have to worry about the next month. Then you maybe have to worry about the next 3 months, the 3 months from now, right? Or 4 months, which that's, when it starts to become a little bit more comfortable. But at the end of the day, going month to month is what makes you, what really drives when you're in those situations, because it just, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Then especially if you have a team, you can't let your team down.
Gosh, yes.
My team comes always first. I'd rather pay my team before I pay myself. So I'd rather, sit on the street before I don't pay them their salary, which thankfully hasn't happened. Knock on wood.
Yeah. It's like when they say, you jump from the cliff and you build your wings on your way down.
Yeah.
Because that the only way to push yourself to do something else is to really put yourself in that situation that is not an option.
Yeah.
Right? So, burning the ships, how they say. Yeah. Like there is a point that you're like, sorry, you have
swim
to
back.
Yeah.
There
is no other option. So let's do it. Yeah. That's a great lesson, because that's what business is about every single day. You have all these challenges, and then when you think you got it, there's another one, and there's another one, and there's another one. You're like, oh, okay, got it. I thought this was
just
the last
when it becomes comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit,
yes,
something else happened.
There's always something. So you're like, okay, I'm understanding now.
Yeah.
This is what this is about. It's just the same thing, different numbers, but same, the problems.
Like in
all the
retrospect,
time.
I wish I wouldn't have had the experience of having a safety net by having a job where it pays you every single month, because knowing what that feels like and then knowing what it feels like when you don't have that safety is very different. It changes you.
Yeah.
It changes you. And I don't think everybody, that's why they say not everybody is made to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right. Because that pressure can be hard.
Yeah.
And making hard decisions also can be hard. Like you don't have to do those when you do the same job for 5 years. You're doing the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. When I started, I had already had 3 kids. My wife stayed at home. So it's not about me. It's about 5 people depending on me.
That's pressure right there.
My wife found a loan online for $60,000 at like 15%, put it in our checking account, and I started.
And Ossa Studio was born.
That's right.
But same, almost like even more pressure, right?
Yeah.
At least I only had to take care of myself and my dog. You had 5 kids and a wife.
Yeah.
So you had to make it work. That's that pressure.
Yeah, there is no option. I think about like, hey,
not
don't
everybody's
do this.
made
Like,
to do
man,
that.
they're waiting on me for these things.
Yeah.
I have to do it.
I think that's hoot up.
Cool. So
Like we say in German.
my last question for you is if you have a question for me.
Yes.
Okay.
How long has your studio been existing now?
9 years.
9 years.
Yes.
Okay. What was your one experience that really formed you or changed, like your one learning lesson that you recall that you don't ever want to do again?
Wow. Yes. Great questions. Let's see. I have done my fair amount of mistakes, which I like. Let me see. So one thing that it wasn't like one thing, but it was something that I just did too many times. And sometimes my wife tells me that I think that everybody's like me, and I think everybody is gonna be nice and perfect and respectful and responsible, and people are not like that.
No.
So, for example, when I used to do, I always send a proposal to the client with scope of work, how much it costs, and I know it might not guarantee anything, but at least if they sign it, they send it back, and okay, you got it signed. At least there is something on paper.
Yeah.
So for a long time, I did a lot of work when people didn't sign it, because I know them. Like, oh yeah, I know that. That's okay. That's fine. I don't need to sign it. And that became an issue times, because like I didn't sign anything. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I did all the work.
Yeah.
I never thought that this was gonna become
like
this. It's just like, thinking that people see
value
things the way
your
you see
time.
them. Yes, yeah, and understand, but no, it's like what like your story. If people wanna take advantage of you, they're gonna do it, and they're gonna find a way. So trying to be careful with those little things to understand. Hey man, yeah, my friend, sure, like, oh, but man, I really need this sign. Thank you, but sorry, like. And understanding that it's not personal, it's a business policy. It's the business, it's not me. Because that's one of the other things that for me has been hard, is to separate myself from the business. Because I started it, it's what I love, it's what I do. I am most of the business, but the business will be more successful if it's separate from me and I add to the business what I bring value, but not letting the business be too much of me.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome and I love it, but it doesn't scale.
Yeah.
And I wanted to scale a little bit more.
How do you scale?
Hiring talent that can do
Did you hire
what
that
you
one guy,
can
by the
do.
way?
What?
Did you hire that one guy?
No.
You can cut that
Not
out.
yet. Not
Okay.
yet. Maybe. But even like right now, to me, like, this house we were looking at, I didn't design any of that. I didn't touch anything. The only thing I did was the renderings.
Not even like
Today.
a direction of what you want it to look like?
Some direction, but very general.
Okay.
And when I see high quality work produced that I didn't touch, that's when I like, oh my gosh, this thing is happening. It's now outside of me.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's even better.
Yes.
By myself, I probably could not have arrived to this conclusion.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Or can
Yeah,
I ask
keep going.
you more questions? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How do you manage to still practice architecture and get your creative brain working while running a business? Because running a business for me right now is a full-time job. Like all I do is business development, accounting, social media, invoicing, accounts receivable, accounts payable, HR. I mean, like that's all I do.
Yes,
And
I do the same.
And I don't have time to design anymore.
I do the same. But you know what? That's what happened is that I understood, at least for me, everything is design. Everything is design. You're designing everything. You're a designer. You design plans. You design strategies. You design numbers. You design ideas. You design contracts. You design, and when you start looking at it, at least for me, through that lens, it becomes exciting because I see each part, what it means, what's important. Get happy. I get excited about seeing great design, but I'm equally excited about seeing a lot of profit.
Yeah, how can you not?
Yeah, but
it's really nice to open your account and be like,
I need to see them all of them the same.
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, that's exciting and this is great. And probably the main thing that, at least that's what I think today, is that I stopped focusing on what I thought I wasn't doing well, and then focusing on what I really know that I'm doing well. So every day I come here and I do my best in every area. I do my best. And that's enough. That's enough. Before I could be saying, I should be doing this. I shouldn't be that busy. I shouldn't be this. No, I'm doing the best every single day. I'm doing the best every single day. And that makes me lighter when I'm interacting with those things.
Yes.
Because I see them as, that's part of it. It's required. I earn the right to experience this situation or have this problem. If I had not done all the work I have done, I would not even be experiencing this.
Yeah.
And that's a great opportunity. So I try to look at it from 100% positive lens for myself. Because I realized like things that helped me get here was, let's say, discipline and being accountable with yourself and being organized and structured. But at some point that could also work against you. Right? Because that's not everything.
Yeah. And not everybody is like that.
Yeah, that's not everything. And then I start judging myself and I start punishing myself and telling myself that I should be doing like, man, I'm already doing way better than what I thought I was going to be doing 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So celebrate it, being happy and thanking who I am, because that's the reality. There is no other option.
Yeah.
That it is what it is.
Cool.
So, yeah. All right.
All
Monika, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
I appreciate our conversation. I look forward to staying in touch.
Let's do it.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to the Power of Design podcast. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review if you like this content. And find us online at thepowerofdesignpodcast.com.
I invite you to join my mission to become a better version of yourself through the power of design.